Foxborough wide open from the far side. The long pass to Davila, opening him up for three, and he drains it.
Great hustle by Mike Traficante. Cosquet drives inside now, and he gets the bucket. Rejected by Alex Masick. He covered a lot of ground to make that play.
Rejected by Caden Kelly on the defensive end. And now here's Tamani for three, and he knocks it down. Great ball movement there. Arcudi will toss it up from long range, and there it is. Back-to-back three-point shots. Good afternoon, ladies and gentlemen, and welcome inside the gymnasium at Milford High School, as Milford TV is once again happy to bring you coverage of Scarlet Hawks athletics. This is Tim Coet on the call. I will be joined once again by Anthony Mazzini in just a few short moments. Milford getting set to take on just their second Davenport Division opponent of the season in their home gym here tonight as they welcome in the Canton Bulldogs. When last we covered this Milford boys basketball team, they were coming off of a victory in the second annual Scarlet Hawk Classic, wins over Tantasqua and Waltham here at home in that tournament. After that, they headed out on the road for back-to-back tough road contests, and it ended up being a win and a loss for the Scarlet Hawks during that two-game span. A disappointing 44-43 loss to Medway mixed in there. Milford with an 11-point lead into the fourth quarter in that game, but Medway staging a pretty dramatic comeback to earn the last-second victory, but Milford was able to get right back on track in their most recent game. That was last Friday night. Again, it was on the road. It was against Stoughton High School as part of a boys and girls basketball doubleheader, and it ended up being a sweep for both Milford teams on that night. The Milford boys earning a 56-50 victory in that game. And again, that was their first Davenport Division opponent of the season, their first Davenport Division win. And as we enter into action here tonight, Milford is actually tied for the top spot in the Davenport standings, but it is a bunched field in the Davenport right now. Milford tied with Foxborough with an overall record of 4-3. They are 2-2 within league play. Foxborough also 2-2 within league play, so those two teams tied for the top spot. But this Canton Bulldogs team right on Milford's heels. They are 3-3 overall on the season, and right now tied for third place within the Davenport Division. And those three wins for Canton already top their win total from a season ago. It was a very tough year for Canton last year, finishing the season at 2-18. They failed to notch a single win within Hockomock League play last season, but so far it has been a different story for this Bulldogs team. They are led by a dynamic duo on the offensive side of the floor with sophomore Devin Foster and junior Tony Harris. They have been leading the effort and leading the way for what has been a three-game winning streak for Canton heading into this contest here tonight. Canton with non-conference wins against Middleborough and Archbishop Williams before earning a hard-fought 60-58 last-second victory against North Attleboro back on January 6th. So that was their first league victory since the 2015 season, and they will look to build on that against a tough Milford team here tonight. So it should be a very good battle between these two teams. Of course, when last we saw Milford and Canton on the floor, Milford was in the process of finishing off a dramatic second-half surge last season to earn their way into the MIAA tournament. And so perhaps revenge is on Canton's mind as they take to the floor here tonight. A good matchup, two good Davenport opponents. It is Milford taking on the Canton Bulldogs, and we will have the opening tip for this Davenport Division showdown when we come back next here on Milford TV. It is time to get this basketball game started between the Milford Scarlet Hawks and the Canton Bulldogs. Before we begin, the starting fives for both of these teams. First for Canton, it is Devin Foster, Tony Harris, Jake Varial, Danny Hartnett, and Brian Albert. And for Milford, it is the usual starting five: Anthony Arcudi, Shane Cosquet, Zach Tamani, Caden Kelly, and Alex Masick. It is Harris and Kelly inside the circle, and Harris for Canton able to deflect the opening tip, but right into the waiting arms of Anthony Arcudi. Tim Coet and Anthony Mazzini bringing you the coverage of Scarlet Hawks athletics this evening. Milford looking to make it back-to-back wins. Canton hoping to make it 4 straight to jump over 500. for the first time in a couple of years. A near steal as Masick handles the basketball. They feed it inside to Kelly. The off-balance shot does not fall, and it is the sophomore phenom, Devin Foster, who is able to control the rebound.
And that was a good possession by Milford, even though they didn't get the layup to go. That's something that Coach Seaver stressed last game, getting the ball down low to Caden Kelly. He's a beast down low, and they really want to get some easy baskets down low for him today to help them win.
Tony Harris loses control of the ball right into the hands of Zach Tamani. He gives a good feed in motion, and the Scarlet Hawks get on the scoreboard. Now Canton, the feed down into the corner. Very lively crowd once again here in Milford. The student section just about at capacity here, just to our left of our broadcast setup. An early whistle here will send the junior captain, Tony Harris, to the line. A pair of juniors serving as captains for this team, Jake Virile and Tony Harris, the two captains. And instead now they set up for the inbounds pass. Initially Canton looking like they were going to shoot the free throws, but instead the ball comes back out onto the court. Still in the opening 2 minutes of this first quarter. The long three unleashed by Foster, and he drains it.
And they're going to have to account for Foster out on the wings today. He can do it in all sorts of ways. He can drive to the basket, but he can also shoot it. He's averaging 17.5 points this year, so they're really going to have to do a good job on the defensive end to stop Foster from scoring tonight.
We saw Foster out on the floor for Canton last season, showing a lot of flash as a freshman, but he has really upped his game coming into action this week. He is third in the Hockomock League in points per game.
And he's joined by teammate Tony Harris, who also cracks the top 10 at 14.5. So Milford's going to have their work cut out for him, but they have their own top 10 scorer in Zach Tamani, averaging 14.5. So they have some firepower of their own.
Canton advancing the ball here as we still have 6 minutes to play in the opening quarter. The quick release from Harris at the free throw line, but can't get it to fall. Now Brian Albert losing his balance. Milford briefly with the numbers up the floor. They can't take advantage, and now the whistle. Stays Milford ball as Cosquet lobs the inbounds pass to Masick. Cosquet and Tamani now back and forth before the ball ends up in the hands of the senior captain, Anthony Arcudi. Good defense for Canton as Tamani unleashes the three, trying to draw the whistle after the fact. Did not get it.
Wasn't a very good possession by Milford that time. They really didn't get anything going towards the basket. Played out on the wings a little bit too much. They have to attack that inside defense for Canton.
Cosquet now from three-point range, no good, and Albert pulls down the rebound. Milford trying to find their stride offensively. Arcudi going for the steal, but comes up empty. Gets back on the defensive side. Harris gives way out on the perimeter, and now from three-point range, count it for Virile. And it's an early 6-2 lead for the Bulldogs. Canton and Milford last meeting up on the very last day of the regular season last year. The Bulldogs giving Milford a very good battle through the first half of that game, actually held a lead into halftime. But Milford ended up pulling away, absolutely overwhelming Canton in the second half. It turned out to be a blowout in the end. Still a 6-2 score with a little over 4.5 minutes to play, and now will be Tamani going to the line. Gets that first one to rattle home. Good free throw shooting for Zach Tamani, and it pulls Milford to within 2. A 6-4 early score as Canton pushes the tempo up the floor. Masick guarding against Devin Foster. Now it's Harris again. Looks like that's a spot he likes to shoot it on the floor right from the free throw line, having good success early.
If Milford's going to press, they really got to be strong on that back end, and Masick did a good job of shutting down the original threat when Foster tried to drive. But Milford was late getting back, and Canton had numbers, and Harris was able to get an easy jump shot right at the free throw line.
Now a near steal for Milford. They swing it all the way across the floor to Foster, trying to free him. Now they feed it back inside for Tony Harris. The fadeaway jumper is good.
And that's a tough shot there when you have Caden Kelly bearing down on you, trying to block your shot. That's not an easy task, but Harris was able to get that one up and over the big fella for Milford.
Canton into double digits now, a 10-4 lead. Coming out with good energy. An emotional victory for Canton in their most recent game. A narrow victory in the closing seconds over North Attleboro for their first Hockomock League win in almost 2 years. As we said in the open, trying to build on that here tonight. Looking strong in the early minutes. Milford trying to find a way to counter. Here's Masick now inside. He gets bottled up, kicks it back out to Arcudi. He takes the jumper in and out. No luck for Arcudi. And here's Foster now. Freed up for the shot that time, Danny Hartnett, but it rims out. Arcudi now back to Tamani. Milford having a hard time driving inside so far in this first quarter. That ball off the hands of Masick. He ends up deflecting it out of play.
Masick looked like he was playing a little volleyball there, just tapping that ball, trying to get it over the net, but unfortunately playing basketball, and that one will go towards Canton's way.
Milford pressing here, and it pays off. The steal by Tamani. He takes it all the way to the basket for two.
And that's where the press is going to be effective for Milford, if they can intercept some of those crossing passes. But they got to make sure they get back, because if it doesn't work, they're going to let up some easy baskets.
Tamani with 4 of the first 6 points of the night for the Scarlet Hawks. Here's Harris again from that same spot on the floor, and this time a miss. Rebound pulled down by Caden Kelly. Caden Kelly with 4 double-doubles to his credit through the early days of the season. Here's Brendan White into the game. He takes some hard contact. The sophomore will shoot 2 free throws. Anthony Arcudi and Alex Masick getting some time on the bench here with a little over 2 minutes remaining. Brendan White and also Zach Tomorrow into the game, both of whom have been giving Milford some very solid production off the bench. White unable to connect on either free throw attempt. And now here's Foster, a clean lane to the basket. And just cannot get the shot to fall. It deflects right back out to Harris. He passed up the shot from 3. Instead taking it was Austin Maffey. And unable to walk away with points on that possession. It stays a 4-point lead for the Bulldogs, and White will cut into that as he gets the jumper, and timeout is called. So Milford narrowing it to a 10-8 deficit as they look to counter this hot start by the Canton Bulldogs. Will step away for the timeout, and much more to come next here on coverage of Scarlet Hawks Athletics on Milford TV. Canton to inbound after the timeout. Under 2 minutes to play in the first quarter. Caden Kelly able to get the steal and the layup. And just like that, we're tied up at 10. Now it's Foster with Cosquet creeping in. They swing it down to the near wing. Now Harris A couple of defenders combine on Harris. They eventually feed it outside to Foster. And now Tamani trying to fight his way through heavy traffic, and he ends up losing control of the basketball.
And Canton's showing a zone on the defensive end, and Tamani had the right idea. One way to beat the zone is get down the floor before the zone is able to set up, but unfortunately good hands from Canton, and Tamani turns it over.
Harris can't get the inside shot, and Kelly outworks him for the rebound. Now here's Cosquet, the high floating shot. He takes the contact, can't get the shot to fall.
And again, Milford with the right idea. This time Cosquet trying to get down the floor before the zone is able to set up, and this time they're able to draw the foul.
As we start to see more out of Shane Cosquet in the starting lineup as this season progresses. He really tends to favor that floating shot in the lane, has good touch around the rim.
And he's certainly a nice complement piece. You know, he's going to have his good games and his bad games, but he's a nice complement piece to the likes of Arcudi and Tamani and Caden Kelly. So it's good to have reliable scorers and reliable ball handlers able to get the ball up the floor. He's going to take a seat now in favor of Arcudi.
After going 1 for 2 from the line and giving Milford their first lead of the night at 11-10 with 50 seconds to go in the opening 8 minutes. Again, Milford presses. Lean pass ahead to Foster, who's guarded closely by Zach Tamani. Now the contested shot inside, no good for Hartnett. And Tamani ends up emerging with the basketball. About 3 seconds difference between shot clock and game clock. Tamaro and Tamani, back and forth we go. Milford working this clock down, looking to play for the final shot. They feed it to White, who ends up taking a tough shot. Not close, and now the final seconds, Canton able to get a shot away, but it is well short. And that's how the first quarter comes to an end. Milford trying to play for that last shot. They end up settling for a rushed shot from the sophomore Brendan White. But in the end, Milford able to right the ship towards the end of that first quarter to take an 11-10 lead. We'll step away very quickly, and we'll have quarter number 2 for you next here on Milford TV. Back inside the Milford gym for the start of quarter number 2 between Milford and Canton. And to bring you the play-by-play action for the second quarter, I turn it over to Anthony Mazzini.
Welcome back, everyone. I'm Anthony Mazzini alongside Tim Coette, and we're getting ready to start action again here in the second quarter between Milford and Canton. Foster kicks it out. 3 is short, rebounded by Kelly, gets the ball to Tamani, and Milford's rolling again. Tamani takes it into the middle of the zone, kicks it back out, ends up in White's hands. Back now to Tamani, he resets. One-handed pass down low to Caden Kelly for 2.
There's a laser into Caden Kelly. Good hands to receive that and quick reaction to put it in for the bucket.
Stoppage of play now. Substitution. Olivier Louis comes into the game for Canton. They inbound the ball to the corner. Quick trap, but they get the ball to Louis. He takes it up the floor and he gets fouled. I think that one's going against Arcudi. That'll be his second.
Yeah, he doesn't like the call, but rarely does he like the call if it goes against him.
No, they never seem to like the call. They always have something to say about it.
Back to the bench for Arcudi. Limited minutes here in the first half.
Inbound to Foster now. Louis with the shot, free throw line jumper, and he gets it to fall for 2. Tamani takes it up slowly, resets the offense into White, back out to Davila. Almost a turnover there for Canton. Tamani's able to corral it, swings it over to Tamaro. One-handed pass, I think that was going to Tamaro, but Kelly cut it off. Back down low to Kelly, kicks it out to Tamani for 3. rims out, but Kelly's able to get the rebound. Tie up now between Louis and Kelly. Jump ball, that one will stay with Milford.
Possession arrow, Milford's friend there. Nice job by Olivier Louis there. Not many people can go toe-to-toe with Caden Kelly fighting for a rebound.
Back out to Tamani. White's got to get it up quickly now. Not sure what to do with it. Pivots, finds Davila. He's able to take a couple dribbles and shoot it, but he front rims. And it looks like they're calling a shot clock violation. That one looked like it hit the rim.
Yeah, sure did, Anthony. Looked like it clearly deflected off the front of the rim. Zach Tamani immediately coming over to the officials. And it looks like now they are going to change the call. That's the right decision.
That is the right decision, Tim. Certainly, that one did hit the front rim before the shot clock went off, so that's a good call by the referees to be able to confirm. Tamani now with the inbound. Almost intercepted there by Foster, but Tomorrow's able to come away with it. Get it to Tamani. Just about 2 minutes gone here in the second quarter. Swing over to Davila. He shoots for three. Back rim. Rebound back to Tamani, however. Gets it into the corner for Tomorrow. Tamani now with the three. And the three-point shot is just not falling for Milford right now. But Tomorrow is able to draw the foul, getting for the rebound.
Yeah, what was that, about 3 offensive rebounds on that possession for the Scarlet Hawks? A lot of chances, but they have just not looked all that comfortable with their outside shooting so far tonight.
No, they all came on three-point shots, and they are just not falling. But it will stay with Milford, and Davila looks like he's going to inbound. Albert now goes to the bench in favor of Tony Harris, and Canton will need him back on the floor. Cosquet back into the game for Milford now. Cosquet with the ball, swings it over to Davila, fakes the shot. 13 left on the shot clock. Pass over to Davila, fakes it down low. Caden eventually gets it, misses the layup, a rebound by Brendan White. And after a short scrum for the ball, Milford's able to regain possession again.
Yeah, deflected out of play off of Canton. Brendan White showing good toughness under the basket.
Kelly again with another opportunity. He's able to make the most of it for two. Milford gets back right into their press. Over to Foster. He gets it past the midcourt line. Swing to the corner. Immediately smothered by the Milford defense. $10 left on the shot clock for Canton. They're going to have to think about getting a shot up. Swing pass to the baseline. Louis. And he gets trapped down low, and it's a travel going back to Milford. And the "you can't do that" chant now coming from the crowd. And they like what they're seeing, Tim.
This defense has stepped up so far in the second quarter for the Scarlet Hawks.
About 4 minutes and 45 seconds left now in the second quarter. Cosquet almost fumbles the ball, but he gets it back. Down low to Kelly again, gets it to Tamani in the corner for three, and he's able to knock that one down.
If you're Milford, you hope that's a sign of things to come. Again, we've talked about the outside shooting being a little hit or miss for the Scarlet Hawks so far, but a good shot from Tamani.
Down low to Albert, and he's able to get the foul. That one goes against Alex Masick. And good pass down low to Harris. Nobody seemed to pick him up, and all they could do was push him in the back, and he's going to go to the line for two. Tony Harris, as we mentioned, in the top 10 in the Hockomock, averaging 14.5 points a game. Misses the first one.
Perhaps the student section getting an assist on that first miss.
He's able to knock down the second one. But Milford quickly gets up the floor again with Tamani. Milford slowing it down now. And as we've seen in past games, the slow tempo for Milford always isn't their best, as now they're turning it over. Ends up in the hands of Harris. And a good pass in the corner for Foster. He's not able to connect. Kelly gets up there and gets a big rebound for Milford.
It was good quick hands for the captain, Virile on the steal, but again, Canton fails to convert it into points on the other end. Just 3 points so far in the second quarter for the Bulldogs.
Foster attacking right at Cosquet, and they're going to get him for a non-shooting foul. That one will be on the floor. Goes against Masick again. That will be his second.
Devin Foster quiet so far in this first half, just 3 points. So again, this Milford defense really focusing in on the sophomore stud.
And they have to, Tim. Was selected as last week's HockomockSports.com Player of the Week. Scored a career-high 27 against North Attleboro, and North Attleboro is no pushover team. He's now averaging 17.5 and 5.5 assists per game, so he's definitely one of the top players in the Hawk. Has the ball now, guarded closely by Cosquet. Swings it back out to Harris. Harris will shoot the three. He'll miss badly, but the rebound comes back out to Foster. Corner three misses. Cosquet comes down with the rebound. One-handed pass, tries to find Kelly. He does, but he kicks it back out to Arcudi, and he's able to shoot the long two.
Just Arcudi's first points of the night.
DeVrill now. Inside to Harris, kicks it out to Foster. Good ball movement right now for Canton, but they're not getting anything towards the hoop. But there's the shot that Harris likes, but he isn't able to knock it down. Kelly with the rebound. Milford looks to push, finds Cody up ahead. And Cosquet knocks down the three, and this crowd is pumped. Timeout, Canton.
It's just it was great vision, Anthony, by Anthony Arcudi out there on the floor. The leading pass a little too hot to handle, a little too far beyond the basket, but he was able to spy Cosquet beyond the arc, and a great finish for Cosquet.
And we saw a little bit of a slow start for Milford, but they're starting to heat up now, and it seems like they really like to play at home. In 3 home games, this year, Milford is averaging 60 points per game, and they have a 2-1 record. On the road, they're only averaging 51.2 points per game, and they're allowing 55. So they're getting outscored on the road, and they're outscoring their opponents by 9. On the road, they're 2-3. At home, they're 2-1. So Tim, Milford really loves playing at home, and we saw it in the Milford annual tournament. 2 wins against 2 very good teams.
That's a great point. You can tell this is an emotional bunch, and they feed off of this crowd. They feed off of the energy that they provide, and it certainly shows on the scoreboard so far this season. They have to get a little more consistent. You're going to need those wins to come on the road as well if you want to contend for a league title. But certainly at home, this is a big advantage for the Scarlet Hawks.
And this crowd has always been very, very good for Milford, even dating back to the days with Coach Mangusa. They had the Goose Nest up there. It was always a very lively crowd, so you make a good point. The crowd really does factor into these games for Milford, and they seem to feed off of it, and they play to however well the crowd reacts. Get back to action now, and a quick foul on Foster. About 2.5 left to play in the second quarter. Milford up by 10 in what has been a resurging comeback for this Milford team after they started off very cold. 1-1 now for Canton. Foster will go to the line. Makes the first end of the 1-1. He'll get a second free throw. Knocks down the second one as well. Cosquet now swings it back to Arcudi. Cosquet and Arcudi with a little 1-2-man game. Now with Tamani. Try to find Masick at the free throw line. They do. Swings it back out to Tamani for 3. And he knocks it down again. Zach Tamani now with a couple consecutive three-pointers, and Milford is back up by 11, excuse me.
Double digits in this first half for Zach Tamani. Bad news for the Bulldogs as this three-point shooting continues to warm up as the second quarter goes on for the Scarlet Hawks.
Now Foster with the ball again, guarded closely by Cosquet. They're giving him no breathing room. He finds Olshader in the corner. And it's a shot clock violation. Canton was not able to get that one off. They did get a shot off, but no rim there, nothing but air. And good defense by Milford. Even though they allowed that offensive rebound, they were able to crack down on the defensive end and hold Canton to a shot clock violation.
And boy, did Coach Seaver love it on the sidelines. So round of applause for his players out there. This has been a strong commitment to defense for the Hawks through this first half.
Tamani feeling it now. That's his third three-pointer now. And he's really amping up this crowd with his play recently. Finds Harris, break the press. Now Albert down low. He lowers an elbow, but that one looks like it's going to be a block on Cosquet. That one really could have gone either way. That elbow went right up into the chest-neck area of Shane Cosquet.
Yeah, it certainly looked like an aggressive move out there by Brian Albert, but he gets the benefit of the call from the official. Coach Seaver having a word with the officiating crew, but this will be free throws coming up.
Well, that's a tough call to make. You got Shane Cosquet, who's not all that big, and then you got Brian Albert, who's a little bit bigger than Cosquet. So that one really could have gone either way, but Albert gets the benefit of the doubt, but he misses the first free throw. Harris will head to the bench now. Checking in for Canton will be Danny Hartnett.
And for Milford, the fan favorite Mike Traficante out on the floor for the first time.
And he corrals that rebound. Number 10 for Milford, Mike Traficante, hands it off to Tamani, who takes it up the floor. Almost got caught in midair, finds Arcudi, and that one will head over to our broadcasting station out of bounds, and the ball will go back to Canton. Jake DeVrill to pass it in to Foster. He gets it past the midcourt line. Less than a minute left here in the second quarter. About 20 seconds left on the shot clock. DeVrill has it now. Swings it out to the wing. Back out to Foster, fake in the corner. Down low to Albert. He muscles his way down and he banks it off glass for two. Good strong move by Albert. And Milford can look to hold for maybe the last shot if they want to. 2-second difference about between the shot clock and the game clock. Tamani has it now. Looks to reset. 12 left on the shot clock, 14 in the half. They swing it out to Arcudi, and he took one too many steps. That one will be a travel. Looked like Milford was going to hold for the last shot, but the travel by Arcudi will send it back Canton's way, and Caden Kelly, for a little bit of a defensive strategy move there, takes out Alex Masick for the last 9.2 seconds of the half. Foster gets it past midcourt. Spin move in the lane, kicks it out. That's DeVrill. He gets it off before the buzzer, but he's not able. Oh, they called the foul? That one looks like it's going to be a foul on Zach Tamani right before the buzzer went off. That one must have been, I don't even know math terms, point something seconds. That one was very, very close.
Yeah, you see double zeros on the scoreboard.
Yeah, they're throwing me off now. And it looks like they're just going to send everyone else to the bench and let Captain Jake DeVrill shoot his free throws alone. Misses the first one. And this crowd is relentless. They're not going to let Jake DeVrill make these free throws easily. Misses both of them. And both teams will head to the locker room now, 29-17 Milford. And Tim, Milford really started off very, very slow in this game, but some hot three-point shooting towards the end of the half, specifically out of Zach Tamani, really propelled Milford as they now have a 12-point lead.
Well, I think you could see in this first half that defense was definitely the point of emphasis, and it's no surprise they came into this game. They knew the two-headed monster that Canton had out there on the offensive side of the floor, and I think that for the most part, Milford has done a spectacular job of really reining in Devin Foster and Tony Harris. You look at the score sheet so far for the half, just 6 points out of Tony Harris. We've seen just 5 points out of Devin Foster, so that's an excellent job for this defense. Milford with the stingiest defense in the Davenport Division so far this season, and they showed it in this first half. Just a great all-around performance and knocking down some clutch shots down the stretch.
And you're absolutely right. The defense was very, very tight on both defenders. The one area they might have to clean up is that free throw line jumper. Harris seemed to be getting open in there and knocking down a few shots. But Milford will look to carry that momentum as they ended the second quarter into the second half. 29-17, Milford. We'll be right back for coverage of Milford Scarlet Hawks basketball on Milford TV. Welcome back to the action, everyone. I'm Anthony Mazzini alongside Tim Coette, and we're happy to bring you back coverage of men's basketball, Milford men's basketball, here on Milford TV. And it was a very exciting first half. Milford jumped out kind of to a slow start, and Canton really pounced on them. Opened up a quick 6-point lead, but Milford was able to bounce back, especially in that second quarter behind the play of Zach Tamani. He ended with 13 points in that half. He's almost up to his season total of 14.5, his season average of 14.5, so he played very, very well. And he, alongside contributors like Caden Kelly, who had 6 points, and Shane Cosquet, who had also 6 points. And they kept the defense in check, too. They limited Harris and Foster to only 10 points. So the defense was very good for Milford, and they looked to continue that momentum from this first half into the second half now, as the three from the corner for Canton rims out, and Kelly corrals the rebound, hands it off to Tamani, and we're underway.
Just another rebound for Caden Kelly, as we mentioned in the first half. 4 double-doubles so far on the season, which leads the Hockomock League.
Hand off to Arcudi, he swings it around. Skip pass to Tamani, he drives, finishes, tries to finish over Harris, gets his own rebound and finishes for 2.
It's a pretty play. Zach Tamani looking suspended in midair to be able to collect that rebound.
And there's the press again, working off for Milford. Kelly isn't able to get it. Tamani gets his hands on it, but ultimately it's off Canton, and Milford will retain possession. And Canton, very early in this third quarter, takes a quick timeout. And Tim, we're seeing it again. Zach Tamani really leading this Milford team. He's been a starter on this team for about 3 years now, and he's already up to 15 points now, 17 last game. He's just really playing some of his best basketball that we've seen this season.
He just oozes with confidence when he's out there on the floor, Anthony, and you talked about it in the first half. He comes into action this week, 7th in the Hockomock League, averaging 14.5 points per game, behind some of the real elite players in the league, and you can really count Tamani among those elite players. Again, just so confident out there, very quick, very athletic, and he has really put this team on his back through the early days of the season.
And it certainly helps to score when you have such solid contributors around you. Anthony Arcudi, top 25 in the league at 10 points a game. Caden Kelly, 16 points and 11 rebounds last time, and like you've said, four double-doubles to begin the season. I believe that leads the Hockomock League. So Tamani is playing very, very well, but it's nice to have those solid contributors around you. As now Tamani gets the ball after that Canton timeout.
The defense can't overcommit to one player when there's so many different athletes out there on the floor that can hurt you.
It opens up a lot of opportunities for everyone else. Tamani resets the offense now. 13 left on the shot clock. They try to run a play for Arcudi, but ultimately it goes to Cosquet. Try to get down low to Kelly, and he's fouled. That one looks like it's going on Jake DeVryle. I apologize for the mispronunciation in the second quarter. It's Jake DeVryle. Cosquet will inbound the ball. Try to find Masick underneath the basket. But that one's tipped out of play by Danny Hartnett. Cosquet again with the inbound. Almost didn't get it in, and it's tipped by Canton. Harris tries to save it, flies into the Milford fan section, but Milford will retain possession. Still 30 on the shot clock, 6:40 left in the third quarter.
It was a good effort out of Harris, but that ball already out of play, and certainly getting that close to the student section, they let him know it.
Cosquet gets the ball, takes it past the midcourt line. Tries to drive down low. That little floater you were talking about earlier, Tim, but that one doesn't fall, and Harris collects the rebound, gets it to Foster. And a quick pass up, and that won't go as 2 points for Austin Maffey. Good finish off the glass, and Canton is now within 12.
We haven't seen a whole lot of that out of Canton so far in this game, but good transition offense. It left Maffey wide open for the easy bucket down the other end of the floor.
And Kelly just manhandling down low, able to get the easy basket for 2. it's DeVryle, kicks it out to Foster. That one from the corner misses. Masick tries to get the rebound. But good hustle from Canton. They almost were able to get it. Now it's Cosquet taking it right at Harris. They call it jump ball. That one could have gone either way as a block or a jump ball. Referees agree that it's a jump ball and it'll stay with Milford. Cosquet now inbounding the ball. He has 6 points. Gets it out to Masick and now to Monty. Masick to Cosquet in the corner. Looking to find someone to pass to. Nobody gets open. Finds it Masick in the corner. He jumps, takes a jump shot, and he nails it.
Good looking fadeaway shot right there for Alex Masick.
And those are Masick's first 2 points of the game. Back out to DeVryle, now over to Hartnett. Fake the shot, pass it down low to Harris, and a good looking play there as Harris comes away with an easy 2. He just got lost behind the Milford defenders.
Just sneaked back there all alone. Everyone forgot about him.
And that's one player on this, one of 2 players on this Canton team that you do not want to leave alone, him and Foster. Milford pays for that one. 4:45 left now in the third quarter. Arcudi with the jump shot, back rims, and Foster gets it, and he looks to run. 2-on-1. And that one's going to be a charge. Good positioning by Masick. Foster doesn't like it. He thought Masick was still moving, but great hustle and great awareness by Alex Masick to get in front of the defender, get in front of Foster, and be a big defender and get the charge.
And those are the things that Alex Masick does very well. They don't always come through on the score sheet at the end of the night, but just good instincts, especially on the defensive side of the floor for Masick.
No, he's been a little bit of a surprise this year. We figured he would take a lead role in this offense, but that hasn't been the case. Rather, it's been the defensive end where he makes his money. And now Harris comes away with the rebound for Canton. Over to DeVryle. He sends it over to Foster for 3, and Foster knocks it down.
It's almost at the point now where Devin Foster has been eerily quiet in this game. You're almost expecting at some point he's going to go on a run. It hasn't happened yet.
And that could be the turning point for Foster's night. He's up to 8 now. But Milford has really been sound defensively on Foster. It's now Masick in the corner, sends it out to Tamani. He gets it down low to Kelly. One dribble out to Arcudi for 3. And Foster with a good rebound down low. Harris. Now it's Foster. Foster gets it down low again. He gets Kelly on the pump fake, makes the shot, but the referee is going to call it an on-the-floor foul. I think that one went against Tamani. And Milford is going to call a timeout. And with that timeout, we'll take it too. Milford up 35-24 with 3:29 remaining in the third quarter. We'll be right back. As we're wrapping up this Milford timeout, now Milford up 35-24, 3:29 left in the third quarter. As Canton will now inbound the ball underneath their own basket. Gets it out to Foster in the corner. Sends it over to Hartnett. Fakes a shot. Now Foster sent it out to DeVryle in the corner for 3. Back rim, and Arcudi gets the rebound, and he looks to run. 1-on-2 in favor of Canton, but Arcudi's able to get the foul and the basket. 3-point play, traditional 3-point play for Anthony Arcudi, and he'll go to the line to try to finish it off.
You could just see Arcudi licking his chops as that rebound deflected out. He had a clear lane in front of him. Canton able to get 2 bodies back there, but a good aggressive move all the way to the basket for Arcudi, looking to finish off the 3-point play.
And just like you said about Foster, how he's been quiet tonight, so is Anthony Arcudi. With that free throw, that's only his 5th point tonight. So maybe that energy can get him back on track, because now he tracks back defensively and pokes the ball out of bounds, out of Harris's hands, and that one will stay with Canton. This is a Milford team that has played their first 8 games. They've played 5 on the road, so they're definitely happy to be back in this building and play some home games for the rest of the season. Sends it over to Olshader. And that one's Harris down low off the glass for 2.
It was a nice move by Tony Harris. Harris, a multi-sport athlete for Canton. He was a standout on the football field. Still has another season to go.
Good crossover by Arcudi. He shoots nothing but net, but unfortunately that one hit the bottom of the net, outside of the net, not on the inside.
They don't give you points for that.
No, unfortunately not. Arcudi wishes he could have that one back. Foster gets in the middle of that defense. A low pass. He tried to find Harris off his knees, and Cosquet will now run. Takes on 4 Canton defenders. And good defense there by Austin Maffey. Able to block that one. They'll stay with Milford.
As the confidence grows for Cosquet, he's becoming more and more willing to do the dirty work, cutting to the basket. He's going to bring a new dynamic to his game.
Sends that long pass out to Tomorrow. He saves it from being a backcourt violation. And Cosquet seems to be the primary ball handler when Tamani's on the bench as Arcudi misses that 3. And now Tomorrow with the hustle down low. Didn't think he was going to get that rebound, and instead he gets the jump ball. The possession arrow will stay with Canton, but now Milford has the possession arrow at the next jump ball situation. 2 minutes and 1 second left in the third quarter. Milford up by 12 against Canton. Harris posts up down low. He wanted it and he got it, but he's not able to finish. Tomorrow is able to get the rebound, gets it to Cosquet. Looks up the floor, finds Davila in the corner, and Davila knocks it down. Nate Davila off the bench. Those are his first 3 points of the night. And he was a spark plug. We saw it in that game against Waltham in that second annual Milford tournament in the championship game. He played a crucial role. Not as much of a role tonight. Looks like he might get called for the foul there, but that first 3 for Nate Davila puts Milford up by 15.
You just really have to like this bench for Milford right now, Anthony, and the fact that Coach Seaver can really mix and match against different teams in different situations. At any point you can see Davila, you can see White, you can see Tomorrow, each bringing a different dynamic to the floor that really works very well with this team.
And we've said it in past broadcasts, they can go big, they can go small, they can go speed, they can go shooting, they can go rebounding. They have a lot of different combinations. The only thing for Coach Seaver is just finding the right chemistry. Some guys feed better off of each other. So that's one thing for Coach Seaver, but I think he's found those good mixes now as Foster knocks down 1 of 2 from the line. Little over a minute remaining here in the third quarter. Cosquet gets the ball down low. And Maffey doesn't like that call, but he's getting for a hack, and Cosquet will go to the line. Knocks down the first one. One of 2 at the line for Shane Cosquet as Harris corrals that rebound.
5 of 9 from the line for Milford so far in this game.
Harris saves that ball from soaring into the stands. Tries to throw it off Brendan White, but White's able to get the steal. Takes it hard to the basket and finishes with his right hand for 2, and he's pumped up.
Outstanding touch around the rim for Brendan White.
And now a little bit too antsy now. Tries for the hustle play, but he's going to get called for the foul. Number 4 against number 4 there. Foster is able to draw the foul against White. But just good hustle by Brendan White. Even though he's able to score, he's able to get back on defense. And even though he's called for the foul, Coach Seaver must love that heart and dedication. Caden Kelly tips that inbounds pass, but Harris is able to get it. Hands it off to Foster, who now gets it to Olshazer.
Cosquet with the steal.
Sorry, but Tim. Cosquet's able to not finish, rims out. But Cosquet will go back to the line now. Good aggressive drive off the steal by Shane Cosquet. They list him at 5'10" on their roster, but sometimes he plays a little bit bigger than that when he's able to drive and lean into defenders. He's a little bit stronger and a little bit faster and quicker and taller than he might seem. Knocks down the first one. Masick checks back into the game now for Milford, taking out Davila. And Olshader will check back in for Canton. Excuse me, will leave now as DeVryle checks back in for Canton. Cosquet makes 2 of 2 at the line. He's up to 9 now. Press is broken easily by Canton. That one's Maffey. He's not able to get it, and Kelly comes away with the rebound. Good defense by Tomorrow.
He was the only one back there, but he was able to position himself well to block the shot.
And that's the key to the zone. That backline defender has to be good. And Tomorrow was up for the task, and now it looked like an easy rebound and transition for Canton. But that one is just right off of DeVriel's chest, off the pass from Harris. And the Milford crowd is not going to let him hear the end of that one. Turnover for Canton, and Milford will get the ball underneath their own basket.
Seeing a little bit of frustration start to show through on the faces of these Bulldogs.
After a couple substitutions, it's Arcudi, Tomorrow, Kelly, Cosquet, and Tamani on the floor. And now a timeout for Milford. They almost didn't get that inbounds pass in. They did, but Coach Seaver called the timeout first. Milford now up to a 19-point lead, 18.5 left in the third quarter. And Tim, Milford, it was close, a little bit close at the half, but now they're really starting to blow it open.
Yeah, it just feels like Milford is in cruise control right now. They've been very confident throughout this game outside of maybe those first 4 minutes of the first quarter. Once they settled in, and it was really those three-point shots in the second quarter from Zach Tamani that got this team rolling, and they haven't stopped ever since.
Milford now very close to their season average of points per game. They're up to 46. They average 54.8 points per game. They only allow 53, and as you mentioned, that stingy defense is on display again tonight, only allowing Canton 27 points so far. Still a quarter left to play, but something tells me that Canton won't come close to the 53.8 Milford allows per game, so that number should go down. Canton riding a 3-game win streak right now. During that 3-game win streak, they're averaging over 70 points, and they're only allowing 46. Milford's at 46 right now with a quarter left to play. Back into action now. Cosquet looks for someone. Loops it over the top to Kelly. Cosquet now, they'll hold for the last shot of the quarter. They try to run Arcudi off a screen. Ends up with Tamani. Kelly now. Cosquet with the fake shot. Tipped out of play by Maffey. 3.4 left in the quarter. Shot clock isn't a factor. Milford's got to draw up a play and get it off quickly now with only 3.4 left.
They've been in position to play for the final shot in each of the first 3 quarters. They weren't able to get one off cleanly in each of the first 2. We'll see what happens here in the final 3.4 seconds of the third quarter.
Tomorrow, the inbounder, gets it into Kelly. He's got to get it up quickly. A little jump shot in the lane. He's not able to finish. Tamani gets it, but it's too late. After 3 quarters of play, Milford up 19 points, 46-27. They are just dominating Canton right now. We will be right back. Quickly back into action now. Zach Tomorrow will be the inbounder as we enter the fourth quarter, and I will send it back to Tim Coette to finish off this game with some play-by-play. Tim?
Thank you so much, Anthony. Excellent work tonight. 8 minutes to go in this one for the Scarlet Hawks, closing in on their second straight Davenport Division victory. But still more work to be done as Tamani handles the basketball on this opening possession of the fourth. Tries to go up over a defender, but the shot doesn't fall. Rebound controlled by the Bulldogs.
Good crossover by Tamani. He almost had the defender with that fake. Quick jab step on the crossover, but Harris is able to come down with the rebound, and Canton looks to score at the other end.
Can't free up Foster. Instead, they get the 3 from the corner. Count it for Austin Maffey.
Maffey up to 5 points now. Good looking stroke from the corner, and Canton's going to need a lot more of that if they're going to mount a comeback now.
Tamani, the inside feed to Caden Kelly. He backs his way down before sending it back outside to Shane Cosquet. A little bit of a smile on Cosquet's face as now he has a chance again to finish off the 3-point play.
Well, he's really playing well, Tim. He's up to 11 points now, and it seems like every night for Milford there's always somebody different who's carrying the scoring load, and even though it's Tamani tonight, Cosquet's been a very good piece to add next to Tamani tonight as far as scoring goes.
Still into the first minute of this fourth quarter as Milford ups the lead to 48-30. Canton in need of points in a hurry. They have not really been able to go on a run since the very first few minutes of the first quarter. That ball up for grabs around the Canton basket, but Milford eventually able to secure the rebound. Now the feed into Kelly, and he gets mugged.
And as you mentioned, Tim, Canton isn't able to get much going on offense. And we saw that three by Foster. He just hasn't been himself tonight. He really hasn't. For a guy that averages 17.5 points a game, he's only at 9 right now. And for most guys, 9 isn't too shabby. But for Devin Foster, he's having an off night. And when the offense runs mostly through him, he has to have a big night, night in and night out, and he hasn't had it.
Caden Kelly sinks his first free throw opportunity of the night. A couple of clean looks for Kelly. As that ball is tipped loose at midcourt, Milford nearly had the steal, but Canton recovers. They set up for the three in the corner. We've seen them from both sides of the floor now so far in the fourth for Maffey.
And he's heating up now. There's their hot hand. They got to ride him the rest of this way. Down 17 now. They're going to need a couple of threes. They can still drive to the basket, but the three-point shot is going to get them back in it.
This Milford defense has been so strong through the first 3 quarters. Needing to stay committed here all the way through as Tomorrow gets a good look from the wing but can't knock it down. Tamani able to get the rebound, and he will head to the free throw line.
And for Canton, you're not going to mount a comeback if you're letting guards like Zach Tamani get rebounds down low, and that's just going to turn into an easy could be an easy 2 points if it weren't for the foul, but Tamani goes to the line.
The student section's so into this one, they're even ragging on their own players.
Yeah, they might not want to get too cocky. This game isn't over yet. Yeah, it's a 17-point lead, but things can change in a matter of minutes.
Tamani able to make 1 of 2. As Milford presses again. The lob pass ahead to Maffey. Now a quick strike inside to Harris. Milford biting on the up fake. Harris gets the bucket. And now the timeout on the floor. So we're starting to see things ramp up a little bit more for this Canton offense. Still a long road to go, but again, talking about the defensive effort tonight from Milford, they're going to have to continue to stay the course with what made them so successful through the first 3 quarters of this game, Anthony.
Yeah, they got to start getting out on the shooters a little bit better. They've done a pretty good job of it through the first 3 quarters of the game, especially on Foster. He's always a threat from behind the three-point line. They've limited him to only 9, but it's been Maffey now, Austin Maffey, who has the hot hand. He has 6 in this quarter alone on 2 threes, so Canton still has a long way to go, but if you're Milford, you got to start getting out on the wings a little bit and not let them sink those 3-point shots, because those can start mounting up quickly, and those will get a team back in the game very, very quickly.
It's been an 8-5 run for Canton to open up this 4th quarter. As Tomorrow's able to gun the inbounds pass into Nate Davila back out onto the floor. Now through traffic, loses control of the ball, and it ends up getting picked up by Olshaker.
Yeah, that was a little bit too aggressive by Davila. He tried to split the defense and ultimately caused the turnover.
Canton feeding that hot hand of Austin Maffey again in the corner, but this time couldn't knock it down, and now the whistle at the other end of the floor. 5:37 to play in this game. Quick move inside for Cosquet, but couldn't get enough elevation on the shot. And knocking it down from 3-point range, Danny Hartnett. That's his first basket of the night. Comes at a crucial time. It's already the 3rd 3-pointer for Canton in this 4th quarter.
And I just saw something I'd like to see from the bench. Even though he's not out there on the floor, Alex Masick trying to rally his team. Milford calls the timeout now, but Masick, and I'm sure his coach is not pleased with the way that this 4th quarter has gone so far. And Milford's going to have to start getting, like I said, out on those shooters a little bit more, because as those start to mount up, any team can start a comeback. So Milford's got to tighten up defensively just like they did in those first 3 quarters.
And the 19-point lead down to 13 points with still 5:20 to go.
And if you're Canton, you're happy you have a coach like Ryan Gordy on the sidelines, a very, very successful coach. Star at Mansfield High School as a player, and then he's in his 6th year at Canton, and he's also coaches AAU, so this guy has a lot of coaching experience, and I'm sure he's been in this situation a few times.
Arcudi into Kelly, and the foul is called. Foster didn't like it. He thought he got all ball on that block.
And I think the home crowd fans recognize that that was a missed call as well. They're going to fake cheer a little bit for that one, but Foster looked like he got all ball on that one, and not too many guys are getting up to block Caden Kelly, so hats off to Devin Foster, but he didn't get the benefit of the doubt that time.
Back to the line for Caden Kelly.
Milford hasn't shot their free throws well this game. They've been doing a better job of that. We saw it in one of their earlier games this season. They didn't shoot very well from the line, and they seem to correct it, but not this game.
2 misses that time for Kelly. Pace of this 4th quarter has slowed down, still over 5 minutes to play. As Milford will immediately get another look at the line.
Milford seems to have been in the bonus quite a bit this game. A lot of fouls on both sides. Surprised no one's close to fouling out yet, and probably very distributed among all players.
This is where Milford's going to have the opportunity to put this game out of reach. They're no doubt going to have a lot of looks from the free throw line in this 4th quarter. They're going to need to capitalize. Tamani able to do it there, knocking down both shots.
Yeah, Canton's going to try to extend this game as long as possible. So they're going to start to foul a little bit more as the game goes along to try to get back in the game and stop the clock.
Stoppage of play here as the officials check in quickly over at the scorer's table.
Yeah, unfortunately, there are a few lights out on the scoreboard, so I think they were conferring. It looks like it could be a 9 fouls, looks like it could be 4, so I think they were just confirming, but they are not in the bonus yet, Canton.
Long pass to Foster, then the quick hands swing it to Maffey for 3. No good, but Harris, great elevation for the rebound. Caden Kelly commits the foul.
And he got way up there, Tim. Not only did he get up there, but he is just so lanky and tall. He has a very, very long wingspan, and he was able to get up there and get that rebound and draw the foul.
They actually called a foul on Tamani.
Tamani's talking with the referee now. He wasn't really even a part of that play, it didn't look like, unless we missed something, but.
Making a miss for Tony Harris. The lead is 14 for the Scarlet Hawks. And a lot of whistles here as it's really bogging down the pace of play.
And like you said, Tim, it's a 14-point lead, but it doesn't really feel like a 14-point lead. There's still some breathing room for Milford, but things are getting a little bit edgy now, especially with all these fouls and stoppages of play, so it seems a little bit closer than it really is. But Milford, they're not playing their best right now. They got to get back on track.
Right now, Canton prepared to let Caden Kelly earn his points from the free throw line.
If there's one guy you want to foul right now, it would be Caden Kelly. Usually he's pretty reliable from the line, but not so far tonight.
He's missed his last 4 consecutive free throws. He's 2 of 6. All of those shots coming here in this 4th quarter. Harris keeps it, takes it to the basket. Doesn't get the shot, but he does get the foul. And right now, these teams just trading fouls every trip up the floor. One more shot to go for Harris. And he only makes 1 of 2. Brendan White settles the ball down, gets it to Cosquet. Cosquet surveys the floor. Looks to get the pass away to Masick. Dangerous pass that gets picked off by Austin Maffey. They set up the shot for Harris. No good, but Kelly's rebound quickly gets deflected away, and now it's Danny Hartnett with his second three-point shot of the fourth quarter.
And Kelly is struggling right now, not only from the line, but he was able to get that rebound, but just turned it right over. And it led to 3 points for Canton, and we're back to a 10-point game.
Haven't seen much of that out of Caden Kelly so far this season. It's down to a 10-point lead now for the Scarlet Hawks with still a little over 3.5 minutes to play. Here's Brendan White. He pulls up for the jumper. It clanks off the side of the backboard, but Milford fortunate to get it back. As the shot clock expires, Masick just able to get the shot away. No good, and Milford controls the offensive board.
And that was more Caden Kelly-esque, getting on the offensive boards. And even though he didn't get it with two hands, he was able to tip it out to the wing. And Milford will again go to the free throw line. Cosquet again.
Miss now for Shane Cosquet.
This wouldn't be as close of a game if it weren't for the poor free throw shooting from Milford. They've missed quite a few tonight. This could be a lot larger of a lead.
They've now missed 8 free throws in this fourth quarter alone, with 2 more misses there for Shane Cosquet. Foster unleashes from three-point range, no good. Gets his own rebound. The outside look again from Maffey.
If you're Milford, you want to milk a little bit of clock right now, and that looks exactly like what they're doing. Considering they're not playing their best basketball, they're going to limit any chance Canton has to get in, but Caden Kelly throws it out of bounds again. He's really not himself right now.
It's very surprising all the way around for Milford right now in this fourth quarter. Their offense has looked very much out of sync. It's opened the door for the Bulldogs, although Canton has missed a lot of good looks in this fourth quarter as well.
Kelly is trading one good play for one bad play. That time he was able to get up there and contest the shot, led to a block.
Here's Tamani, he drives his way inside. And Milford will continue to wear out a path to the free throw line. Hoping to add on to a 10-point lead.
It amazes me sometimes when, I'd like to say that a lot of these Milford guys have a good jump shot. And it amazes me that when you're standing at that free throw line all alone, you can't make a free throw. It sometimes amazes me. Tamani's able to knock that one down, but Milford just does not look like themselves tonight, and I'm always amazed how a good jump shooter isn't able to make a free throw. It must be a mental thing.
Maffey again, a bit too strong on the shot. And now the leading pass for Arcudi. He's able to track it down. And now Tamani looked like he was going to have an open shot. The defense closes in, he cuts to the basket and takes some heavy contact.
Geez, these referees must be getting tired of calling fouls, but you got to call them as you see them, I guess. And Tamani, a good drive there, gets body checked a little bit. Could have been a jump ball, but the defender had his arm on Zach Tamani's arm, and he goes to the line. Let's see if he can make his 2 shots.
Looked like they called that on Maffey. Tamani, the one Scarlet Hawk player that has been fairly reliable from the line tonight. He's 8 of 10, excuse me.
And that's the Milford defense right there that Coach Seaver wants. That trap right after the Canton crosses that mid-court line. And that was good execution there by the Milford guards, and they were able to force a turnover, and it'll go back to Milford.
Timeout called with 1 minute and 55 seconds to go in this basketball game. We will take the timeout as well. 56-43, Milford leads it over Canton on coverage of Scarlet Hawks Athletics on Milford TV. back out of the timeout. The fans having a good time all the way around throughout these 4 quarters. But back to business out on the floor as Masick takes a good inside feed and connects for 2.
That was a good find. To find Masick down low on the block, he was wide open, and Masick was able to finish.
Caden Kelly able to grab the rebound, and Tamani in trouble. Coach Seaver could see, able to call for the timeout, stopping the clock with just under 90 seconds to play. A 58-43 lead for the Scarlet Hawks should they hold on to this victory tonight. It would be their 5th win overall on the season. Seems as though the game against Malden High School earlier this season for the Scarlet Hawks was not meant to be reflected in their overall standings. We've seen most of the information from Coach Seaver. Put the team at 4-3 heading into this matchup tonight, hoping to improve to 5-3. Interesting days ahead for basketball in this Davenport division, as these Davenport teams really struggled facing off against their Kelly Rex counterparts in the first couple of weeks. But now as we get into divisional play, this is going to be the real opportunity to see how these teams are going to shake out in the standings. Milford tied for first place right now. They want to stay up at the top of those Davenport standings and closing in on a divisional victory here this evening. The story of this 4th quarter continues as Shane Cosquet goes to the free throw line for the Hawks.
Referees might have to buy a couple of new whistles after this game.
Cosquet puts Milford's point total at an even 60. Ticking down to the final minute of play as Foster works on Cosquet defensively, and another whistle.
Yeah, you would never guess it would get another foul before the game ended. The way this one's gone, you would have thought they'd be playing clean the rest of the way.
This game had a really good tempo to it through the first 3 quarters, but it has been a very sluggish 4th quarter, to say the least.
This quarter alone has been almost as long as the first half combined. Wouldn't you guess? Another one.
Right back down the other end of the floor. These teams just don't want to run anymore. They want to.
I don't think they want to go home. It's a school night. Don't they have work to do? Come on. Maybe it's their strategy. They don't go home. They don't have to do homework. Teacher gives them a little bit of leeway. You never know. If they were smart, that's what they'd be doing.
There's a bit of a later start time for this one tonight, as is a 7 o'clock tip-off. Typically we see the 6:30 start times for these varsity games, but Canton a little bit further away.
Yeah, they got an hour or so ride ahead of them, 45 minutes an hour.
You can't help but think that Milford's going to be shooting an awful lot of free throws at their next practice. Tamani goes 1 for 2 on that trip. Makes it a 61-43 score as Canton unleashes from 3-point range. Cosquet momentarily trapped, but he's able to get the pass away to Zach Tamani. Under a minute left.
It looks like Canton now just might play this one out. They know they're not probably going to come back in the last minute, so they're just going to play it out defensively.
Probably figuring we've seen enough fouls in this 4th quarter already.
Yeah, don't torture us anymore.
Masick misses the jumper. 28 seconds left as good lead pass ahead to Tony Harris. Ends up with an uncontested layup. .15 points for Harris. But as the final 10 seconds are about to tick down, it was just not enough, as this Milford defense really kept Canton in check through large portions of this game. We saw a little bit of a jump start in the Bulldogs offense to start this 4th quarter, but in the end, Milford was able to work their way to a 61-45 victory. And so they make it back-to-back wins against Davenport Division opponents, a 2-game winning streak. And for the Bulldogs, their 3-game winning streak comes to an end here tonight as they drop to 3-4 overall on the season. Milford improves to 5-3. And defense was really the story of this one through much of the game, as we talked about at length, Anthony, but just a solid effort. Those 2 top scoring weapons for Canton held in check through large portions of the night. And overall, Coach Seaver has to be very pleased with that effort.
Well, it was a well-played game all around for Milford, with the exception of that fourth quarter was a little bit iffy. But other than that, they really cracked down on the 2 top scorers, Tony Harris and Devin Foster. They were both well below their season averages for tonight's game. That was really a testament to the Milford defense, so Coach Seaver should be very, very happy with that. And for Milford, though, they should be kind of lucky that they did that, because the offense was there, but in that third quarter, the defense, the fourth quarter, the defense really wasn't, so they struggled. So it's a good thing that those 2 guys weren't having a good night, but, you know, offensively, they played very, very well. Zach Tamani led the way. 3 guys in double figures for Milford tonight, so it's good to have that consistency. It's good to have that distribution of scores. You never know when you're going to need someone else to get a big bucket for you. So very good game for Milford. They're now riding a 2-game win streak. It always feels good to break another team's win streak. Canton now drops to 3-4 after their last 3 wins. So this is going to be a good game for Milford. They'll enjoy this one, and they'll carry this momentum into their next game on Friday.
And they will be right back in the Milford gym on Friday night, January 13th, taking on a Foxborough team that Milford came into the night here tonight tied for first place in the Davenport Division standings. So that should be a good matchup. It's always a good rivalry between those 2 schools. We saw it on the football field this past fall, and no doubt that will carry over into a very spirited rivalry here in the Milford gym on Friday night. We will be here for the coverage on Friday, so that is when we will talk to you next. In the meantime, a big thank you to our Milford TV crew on hand for this game this evening, our director, Rob O'Keefe, our camera operators, Mike Sperling, Malcolm Zale, and Robert Arujo. And for Anthony Mazzini, I am Tim Coet. Your final score one final time tonight. Milford defeats Canton by a final score of 61-45. This has been a presentation of Milford High School Athletics here on Milford TV. So long, everybody.
Huge. Maybe, you know what?